I talked about this movie on my main account. Get ready because I'm about to spoil it. And if you hate spoilers, it's called Faithfully Yours and you can watch it on Netflix. So this story starts off with our main character, Bodil. She's a very well-known judge where she's from, and for the weekend has decided to go with her best friend Isabel on a little girls' trip to the Belgian coast. Like I said in my last video, this is not a normal girls' trip. Both Bodil and Isabel are using this trip to cheat on their husbands. Not with each other though. It's with whoever they meet on this trip. Side note, both of their husbands have a feeling that they're cheating, but Bodil's husband turns a blind eye, while Isabel's husband is a little bit more insecure. He's even installed a tracking device on her phone. Anyways, while they're on the train and headed to the Belgian coast, Isabel gives Bodil her phone, as well as the phone number to a burner phone that she bought. Once the train hits the station, they part ways. Isabel goes to her hotel room and gets ready for a night out at the club, while Bodil goes to her nearby vacation home. That's when she finds someone's there. It's her younger sister, and she's not supposed to be there. They get into a little argument and Bodil's sister leaves. Then Bodil leaves to go to a book seminar. While she's there, she has Isabel's phone, and she's posting pictures, texting people back, acting like they're together. And that's when she catches the attention of the host. He's a very good-looking guy, and afterwards, they find themselves having a conversation, where Bodil asks if he wants to come back to her house. You guys already know what happens. And at the same time, Isabel is at a nightclub, and she meets someone that she's gonna take back to her hotel room. Later that night, Isabel's husband calls her phone. Remember, the one that Bodil has? And of course she answers it, but she says that Isabel is in the shower. He tells Bodil that he got into an accident and broke his ankle, so now he needs her to come back home. Of course, she gets off the phone and immediately calls Isabel, letting her know the news. So that's when they make a plan to meet the next morning before she leaves. The next morning comes, and the book seminar guy is still at the house, and they decide to go take a walk to the beach before Isabel arrives. Now they're down at the beach, and Bodil tells the guy that she's never gonna see him again. It was just a one-night stand, and if she ever sees him walking down the street, she's gonna act like she's never met him. He does not like this at all, so he gets up and leaves while Bodil goes and jumps into the ocean. Once she's done with her quick swim, she goes back to the vacation house. But while on the trail there, she sees a man looking very distraught, and he had blood on him. This immediately alarms Bodil, so she quickly runs up the driveway, and that's where she sees her front door was left open. Even more terrifying, Isabel's suitcase is at the bottom of the stairs, and there is blood surrounding it. She immediately calls her phone, but then finds out that it's still in the house, and that's when she calls the police. During the investigation, Bodil is actually named one of the suspects, so now she's unable to go home until she's cleared. And eventually, she has to tell everyone why they were really there, including both of their husbands. And that's when they decide to come down to the Belgian coast. Regardless of everything, they want to help find her. At the same time, they find out that Isabel was actually going out to these clubs and getting very comfortable with Bodil's sister. Remember her from the beginning? And that's when whoever killed her sent a picture of her lifeless body to the police. This proved that she was no longer alive. And with even more investigating, we soon learn that Bodil's husband planted cameras around the entire house. Now suspicious of her husband, she ends up blindsiding him, literally tying this man up and interrogating him. But that's when he finally confesses. He has nothing to do with Isabel's murder. He just liked watching her cheat on him. Yeah. Now at the same time, Isabel's husband is staying in the house. And remember, he has a broken foot. And at this point, he's really depressed apparently. But while Bodil's husband is tied up and defenseless, that's when we find out that Isabel's husband knew a lot more than he let on. Now I'm gonna go through this very quickly. Like I said in the beginning, Isabel's husband knew that she was cheating. But he was not mad at Isabel. He was mad at Bodil for letting her. So that's when he set this whole thing up. He paid a hitman to go after Bodil, and that's why he tried to have Isabel come home. But apparently they got the wrong person. Now another plot twist. Isabel's husband has been faking his broken ankle, and we see this when he tries to attack Bodil. He says that basically if the hitman couldn't do it, he will do it himself. But that's when Bodil manages to get away, and she runs over to that beach that's nearby her house. He follows her, and she has to fight for her life, which she does, eventually killing and drowning him in the ocean. But you guys, this story is not over. We have another plot twist. Bodil gets a clue to go to this nearby private airport, and that's where she finds not only Isabel, but also her sister. Now let me explain this. They created this entire plan just so they could run away together. They paid off the assassin that her husband hired, and then managed to fake Isabel's death. So yeah, Isabel and Bodil's sister, they run off into the sunset together, while Bodil and her husband enjoy their new outlook on their marriage, and everyone gets away with it, and they live happily ever after. Yeah, this movie is wild, but let me know which one I should do next.